Good morning, I'm Ilka Oster.
Morning, I'm Jo Drennan.
What's going on down here this morning at Mooloolaba Beach?
Lots of noise in the background.
Yeah. And what's the topic?
Are you on autopilot, or do you think about why you do the things you do?
Yeah. And do we ever do that?
So, like the big decisions in life. I know when I was younger and I had children, it was a big thing for me and my family to work, and I just fell into work around my family, with my family, and never really thought about what I wanted in life. Just this was what was in front of me. This is what I'll step into.
It really was a subconscious program from what you'd learnt growing up, and I think we all do that to a large extent, much larger extent than we could ever really give credit, because we think that we're not on autopilot in our lives, but every day our subconscious mind is ruling the whole show. We are on autopilot. And it does take asking some pretty big questions, and not just the first answer that comes up to those questions, which is, yeah, I'm okay, or whatever. It's really diving a bit deeper, and even asking yourself, is this really what you want to be doing?
Yeah.
I was following lots of people when I had young children, and they were hugely inspirational to me. Young entrepreneurs, or they were around the same age as me, with young children, stepping out into the world and really making a difference. And yeah, but it was they were getting me to ask these questions. But yeah, it was a scary thing to do.
It is scary. It takes a bit of courage, because you might come up with answers that would require you to change your behaviour, do something different in life, and that's often not easy to make change.
And also the people in your family, or the people that are closest to you, may wonder, what are you doing, Ilka? Like, why would you want to do that? They might think that you're crazy, or they may just have a reaction that's you won't be able to do the same things that you were doing for me. I know when I first started my business, I couldn't, and I didn't really want to, but I couldn't do all the cooking and do all the things that my family expected me to do. So then the other thing that starts to happen is the guilt spiral.
Yes.
So then when you're getting that reaction from somebody, you can start going into, well, I used to, guilt was massive for me. If somebody reacted to the way I wanted to live my life, and I thought that I was upsetting them, guilt would put me back in my box very quickly and say, well, Ilka, you're a mother, this is how you should be living. Even if I'd go to take a day off, should be living your life.
That figure eight of should and guilt, and who do I please here? Is it okay to do what I want to do in life?
And then you don't want to keep asking these questions of what do I want, because when you start asking them, so I don't know if we're making a good case for stepping outside your comfort zone. It's like when you hear mothers talking about having a baby, and sometimes they don't sound like they're making a very good case for it. But of course we all do, all of us mothers know the amazing gift that children are, and there is an amazing gift also on the other side of asking these questions, because you're not going to keep living like, I think living where you don't ask these kind of questions, you can feel like you really are dying on the inside a little every day, because you're not following what your soul is telling you to follow.
And then often the case, or pretty much what happened with me, something drastic happens that gives you the opportunity to then look and go, really, is this the way I really want to live my life? So although it may not seem so easy to do when you're not pushed to a point, it's great to get started early and have this awareness of what you really want in life and ask yourself these questions and get to the why. And often the answers are far deeper than, okay, so I might choose a certain job because it offers me a certain pay scale. But then why do I want that money? And then if I want that money to purchase certain things, well, why do I want those things in my life? Because if you keep going, you're going to get to an emotion underneath, or what that...
Always an emotion.
Yes, a deep thing inside you, way down below, all those levels through.
All the layers.
Yes.
And then when you do start living life in your own truth, and even though there will be reactions from people, it does get easier and easier as you make these steps forward. And luckily, in our Awakened Parenting courses, we also have lots of tools and strategies that help people. Like I could not have moved forward in my life in the way that I have into my own power without something like EFT tapping. It really has been so incredibly beneficial to develop a habit around using that tool. And things like meditation, I know you use a lot, Joe. So it's it's getting into a community where people are living this way and asking this question of themselves, so that we can keep stepping outside our comfort zone and moving in the direction that we want, especially as mothers.
And more into the person that we were born to be. And as we do that, we can inspire our children to do the same by our very actions.
Yes, we can.
Actually, that's a good place to consider when you're struggling with something. If you're 20 years down the track and if you considered, well, what if my child came to me for some advice around this very thing, what would I say? That's another great question. That is the biggest question that we ask in Awakened Parenting, because it's what I would call a question with a lot of leverage. We often can see what we would like to happen for our children, excuse the moment, more than we can see what we would like for ourselves, because this is what we tend to do as mothers. We can put someone else we can put our child before ourselves. But we're encouraging people to do it the other way around, so that you're an example to them. It's a very radical idea. It is.
But it's possible.
It's worth it. Yes. So thank you for joining us, even with all the noise in the background. I hope you can still hear us clearly. And we'll see you next Wednesday from Mooloolaba Beach.
Hello.
Yeah, great joining us, Chantel. Thank you. We'll see you soon. And inspire someone today.